The first episode starts off interestingly enough. It gave way to some interesting concepts about how the future is developing. It could have been interesting to see what they could have pulled off, especially with the social networking sites that they were intertwining with this. But then they just completely got rid of that and went for the game aspect, and it just completely collapsed in on itself as it had no idea what it was trying to do with those neural linkers. They were just like an added accessory.
The concept about linking to the internet started off nice.
And it got terrible.
Pretty fast.
Let's talk a bit about the main hero, who is supposed to inspire us to keep watching the show.
His character design. I guess it's okay to show overweight protagonists, but just the way they did it with him just feels like, hey, let's insert a chibi into our anime. It's not like we'll lose any sense of credibility in our art team whatsoever.
I just called him the ball.
The way they try to have serious moments with that character, I was just face palming all the way because it was not funny, it was not engaging, it was just painful. I would have preferred if he made his eyes normal and made him taller, and I would have been okay with his overweight appearance.
What about his amazing personality?
He's just a wimp who doesn't have a backbone. He's just wimpy for the sake of being wimpy. He has no other personality aside of that. I'm being bullied. Do something about it.
He also assumes that everyone wants to live in the virtual world because in episode 1, during the tennis or whatever match,
That was like the funniest things I saw. The way that they try to make that scene so intense was just laughable when you realized it's a pig hitting a tennis racket over and over against a wall.
it was made even funnier when you think about this guy spends half the day on this game, wasting his time.
Especially with the pig avatar. What the heck was that? It's clear this guy had severe self-esteem issues. So wouldn't it be more logical and more interestingly psychological if he tried to, make a buffier avatar of some kind? Try and make him look better in the virtual world. But no, it's like, oh, I'm being beat down in this world. Oh, okay, I'm just gonna beat myself up in this virtual world too. Until, of course, this young lady who will magically save all of my problems.
Actually, he did have a different avatar at first, but the bullies hacked into his account and replaced it with a pig, and he was so low esteem that he didn't bother to replace it back with something else.
Just like, oh, we need to make this guy as depressing as possible. Let's just lower his self-esteem as low as possible.
Suppose they do it because they want us to feel more sympathetic to the guy, but come on, it's so extreme it just doesn't work. The only way this guy can be sympathetic is only if you're also fat, a gamer, and bullied.
I think he would be the developing kind of character who grows to be self-esteem and whatever.
Tried to do that, but the problem is the execution was awful.
There was an execution?
Yes, exactly. The lack of execution.
Also, what I found to be a flaw in this totally controlled space of the school, watched by cameras and whatever. How come the bullies were never watched?
Apparently, the school never bothers to put cameras on roofs. Okay, what? But it's just convenience of the story to just have this character bullied.
They say there are security cameras everywhere, but they will never film somebody doing a crime. Never.
Especially in the second half, those cameras that they quote-unquote have basically don't exist. They're shown like in the first episode, but they disappear as quickly as they appear.
We are made to believe they are there.
It's like the director said, we need to fool the viewer that they do exist, but we're never gonna actually have them. And then later in this episode, we are introduced to his two friends, and they are basically stereotypes. They are standard, and they are, suffice to say, they fill their worlds with adequacy.
I found it hilarious how they tried to make Chiyo seem like a memorable character by adding that fox ornament on her head. She never seems to take it off, and I mean, no matter her age, or even if she's in a bathroom, she never takes the damn thing off. It's as if she was born with a damn thing.
It could be part of her Neuralinker. Maybe neural linkers come with attachments that parents just say, let's keep them on. We're not gonna just make fun of our child with these. We're just gonna calmly point and just chuckle. Okay, Taku's character.
I think it's not believable to call this person a best friend after the shit he did.
Well, granted, I'll defend the show in this case. They constantly point that out and how he's trying to constantly make up for that, because he did feel like he betrayed them and is trying to make up for it.
Let's move to Kuro Yukihime.
She just literally comes out of nowhere and says, I find you interesting because you can play video games surprisingly well.
Well, yeah, it does seem at first like fan service, the fatso gets all the girls, Sword Art Online all over again. But in reality, later on it is proven she's trying to use him so she can gain more power in the video game world.
But that's quickly dropped as you will.
Eventually it's just about being in love with that fatso. Light novel bullshit. Now in the very first episode, she lets the bully hit her on purpose so he will be arrested, and my question is, well, wait a second, are you telling me that all this time the bullies were hitting the fatso protagonist and they weren't arrested, but just because she's the vice president of the school, now the bullies get arrested? What kind of a school is this?
So apparently, bullying to a normal student, that's completely normal, despite these so-called cameras that exist. Karaoke Hime, you're so much more important. We must save you. We don't care about him, we care about you instead. This was terrible, I can't come up with anything positive for that scene. That was just stupid.
Episode 2, we get one hell of a boring info dump. They just sit on a table and they just talk without even moving their mouths, and we don't see anything about the rules of the game. They just talk and talk and talk and talk, and we don't really see anything. If this is the future and they have all that fancy virtual reality technology, why do they just use it to have some sort of a hologram? They don't do that, and it's very boring.
As the good old logic of anime has taught us, you cannot have good info dump without a cute girl telling it to you.
And they also fool around too much with that joke where just because two people have cable connection, they have to be lovers.
Oh my god! Cable connecting with a girl? That's like kissing!
They try to make it seem like they need cable connection to have some privacy because in their world there is no other way to have privacy. But that's bullshit because despite all the security cameras, nothing gets recorded if the plot said so. And after that, Haru gets in the video game, where he gets his avatar and it looks so blunt.
It's literally just an anatomic sketch of a person with no face. I honestly thought maybe as he levels up, he can change his appearance so he looks better.
Well, he did gain something.
Those were accessories. And in general, all minor characters in the show have terrible looking avatars.
They always give the not important characters shitty designs to highlight the important characters.
Unlike Kyoani and Hyoka, where they actually made the side characters look interesting.
I'm not talking about the side characters, I'm talking about the zero-dimension characters.
Zero-dimensional one. And then he meets his first opponent, Ash Roller.
I don't think he's a good character, I just love his awesome design.
I hated his voice. Biker, Japan,
His voice actor,
what the fuck? I think he's a ripoff of Ghost Rider.
Oh,
now
he is.
that
That is why I liked him, even though the movie is terrible. Okay, moving
That's
on
the
to
second
episode
episode.
3, which is basically Kiryuki Hime creating one of the best, if not the best info dumps of all time. They go to a cafe, sit down, connect cables, and talk for a good 15 minutes about the world.
More boring ass exposition we don't really care about. For example, only teenagers can play this video game and nobody has ever revealed it to the public. Don't ask why, they just didn't.
Why doesn't any teenager just go to their parents? At least be one teenager who would tell his parents about this.
Because they are magically forgetting everything before they manage to reveal it.
I want to tell... What was I going to talk about? Never mind. See ya, Mom and Dad. How does
Unusual.
that work?
Yeah, I just forgot everything I was doing for the past 5 years. Nothing to worry about.
Is there just a guy who just watches thousands upon thousands of people? Why did the creator do this?
And that's actually Kuroyuki Hime's goal in the game. She wants to finish it so she can meet the creator and ask him, why did you do all that stuff? And they make it seem like it's so important, like he's gonna reveal every secret of the universe to her or something.
And also the best part was how all the other kings have this rational idea. Hey, let's keep playing this game because it seems like everyone's having fun. I honestly sympathize more with those people. Kyukim is like, no, let's get rid of that. Everyone has a certain trauma that they suffer, but this one was even more crazy.
pulled out of the ass.
Yeah, basically. This came out of nowhere. It's just a sad backstory for the sake of having a sad backstory with no real rhyme or logic to it. So, it sucked. Bad.
Like every sad backstory in that show.
Clannad after story.
Kuroyuki Hime suggests maybe Chiyo is out to get her, so he sends Haru to spy on her. And by spy on her, I mean having sex with her.
This is the best part of the show, mind you.
First, they cable link in a place where there is nobody around to listen to them. This is not a public place to actually need privacy. And then, as if that wasn't enough, they can't just sit next to each other. They have to take this pose like they're doing it missionary style. Laziest attempt at fan service ever. And then Chiyu reveals that she was actually in love with Haru, but she chose his best friend as her boyfriend just to make him feel jealous. What kind of logic is this?
That is the most backward logic I have ever heard in my life. I understand you want to make a guy jealous, but you basically fake a relationship with a guy that actually likes you.
For many years.
Yeah, many years, especially many years, to try and get this guy that you actually like. Now, moving on to episode 4. They get to be run over by the bully.
With absolutely no foreshadowing.
It's like this. Hello, I am Mr. Douche. I've come here to be a douche. I have no personality outside of I am a douche.
Best impression I ever heard.
Indeed. And apparently, there's this superpower that is one of the biggest plot contrivances I have ever seen that basically lets her move at the speed of light to save Haru.
And I love how she can move so fast, but she cannot just push him out of the way along with herself. No, she can just have enough time to push him out of the way and be hit herself. How does that even work? I mean, before that, she let the bully hit her on purpose, so okay, I understand that. But now, it's like a fraction of a second is not enough to just move out of the way when you can move at the speed of light.
Jumping cannot be used while in light. Completely contrived and it's just forced drama. This is also one of the best plot contrivances because this basically means 99% of your burst points are wiped out by using this move. When would this logically be used?
When the plot calls for it once per series.
Indeed. But this is also the episode we discover Taku is Saiyan and he challenges Haru while he's at the hospital to a brain burst match. So we move on to episode 5.
They have a battle, basically shouting big words.
Also, through willpower, he magically now has the ability to fly.
And he didn't even level up or something.
No, it's just like, oh, out of nowhere, you get wings. But this also strikes the question of, why wasn't this at the beginning? Did he have to do something? Nope, just shut off willpower at the random bits and you can fly.
And of course, he needed to get a power which nobody else in the game has. He just became Kirito.
I would have liked it more if he got like a common power, like something everyone has, and just beats everyone through that method. But no.
Over here it is revealed that Taku was cheating all the time at school, and this is why he was so good in everything. But he loses to Haru's Deus Ex Machina power, and I love how he is told off like, no matter how good you are in real life, you will never beat me in video games. And they're supposed to make it seem like so tragic and serious, oh my god.
When a character from a fictional world who is basically good at nothing wants you to take it seriously that he's better at video games, and you're supposed to have an emotional connection at that very point, that's when you know your story is bad.
And then we move to episode 6.
They reveal everything to Chiyu. She now knows about Accel World.
She's getting really pissed about it.
But she doesn't have much of an alibi when you realize that she also manipulated both of them.
And the best part is that she says, if you buy me ice cream, I will forgive you. Whore!
They introduced Aqua Current.
In the series, she appears and disappears. And those, her being bodyguard, it was nearly filler.
Served no purpose to the story. Her character actually is more important in the light novels later. The only thing this reason this existed was to establish her, but because they haven't adapted the light novels more, she's completely useless at this point.
It is also revealed at this point that it is quite easy to level up. You just need to find an opponent who is willing to just let you hit him. So leveling up all of a sudden is not a hard thing if you have one of your friends at a high level. He just stands still, you hit him, you level up. Oh, that's so cheap.
This is the point where the show just doesn't care. It's just kind of aimless.
Episode 8.
We get introduced to a lowly.
Delicious lowly asses?
What basically happens here is we're introduced to the quote-unquote new Red King. I would say try to get to know Haku, but I would be lying and I would base the more honest responses. She's trying to seduce him.
She also plays this psycho role, this twisted personality.
Yandere.
I didn't feel that from her.
It's supposed
It was
to
about
be...
as threatening as a butterfly.
A 10-year-old slut that fails to be threatening.
It's at this point where I just kind of stopped caring, really.
Episode 9, this new redhead called Yukino, she reveals the reason of why she tried to seduce Haru. So listen to this. I wanted you to have sex with me, an 8-year-old girl, because I wanted to take you into my team so we can go stop a world threat that could destroy our game. I couldn't just ask you to do it, because if you didn't, the whole video game world would be destroyed. And I had to waste 5 days, which in Accel World time zone is like 5 years.
16 minutes is equivalent to like a day, so it's much longer than that.
Well, whatever, man. She wasted all those days instead of just asking them to do something where everybody would just agree with them.
I would be fine with it if that was, interesting or part of the plot, but no, it's just random bits that just don't make any sense.
And then we have the formation of a harem since both of them stay over at his house and he acts all scared like the fucking pussy that he is. Chiyo, in the beginning of the 10th episode, comes in, what is going on here? More ice cream and I will forgive you. Fucking whore.
It's terrible.
Afterwards, they follow this guy who was possessed by an evil armor, glitch of the game and shit. And they enter the unlimited Accel world, which is basically a much bigger fighting arena or something. And this is where they screwed up, once again. They are following a train which is supposed to mirror the actual train in our world, and yet it moves in a normal speed in Accel world, which makes no sense because if it was mirroring the real one, it should move like a centimeter per hour.
I'm surprised that the character is just like pointing fun at this. That would have been really clever of the writer just to point out his inconveniences.
Episode 11, we have this ambush.
I like the design of Yellow Radio, which is the other king's name. Apparently, he's introduced as sort of this bad guy for the sake of being a bad guy. I didn't like his personality, but I loved the design. The biggest question I have is why didn't he go in himself? Couldn't he have completely annihilated Cyan Pile and Silver Crow?
Hey man, that cannon fodder was important. That episode needed to be wasted somehow.
They kind of took out some of the cannon fodder themselves pretty effectively. When you think about that also, do you think they would have been completely overrun in just a mere matter of minutes? His army could have just easily come in and just completely slaughtered them had the Chrome disaster not come.
I think if the armor just waited 5 more minutes, he would just pick off the remains much easier.
Yeah, he could have waited and he could have just slaughtered everyone else. But nope, because of plot contrivances, we have to have him completely destroy.
The cliffhangers in this show were the bad kind of cliffhangers.
You didn't want to see the next episode.
Episode 12, what do you have to say about the battle with Chrome Disaster?
Completely anticlimactic. I'm still shocked at how easily he was defeated.
Power scaling is worthless in this show.
Yeah, they try to make it seem like levels actually matter, but then you see like this level 6 monstrosity that took 7 kings to defeat in previous times, only to be defeated by a level 4.
Jesus can do anything.
Yeah.
He's like Kirito.
At this point, we're also supposed to care about this guy, this Cherry Rook, who was possessed by the armor, and feel sorry about him falling to the dark side because he wanted to feel special and powerful and all that stuff. But we don't see the guy, so how can we feel anything about the guy we never saw? What is the show trying to accomplish by building drama around the character we never saw?
You do see him, but you never see his character. You never see like his backstory. You just kind of are hinted at it. He's somewhat contributed to the story because he gave the brain burst. I wouldn't say he's completely zero, I'd just say that his presence was underwhelmingly small.
The parent-child system is something we didn't talk about. This idea that there's a special emotional connection between the person that gave the other person the burst link.
And apparently can only work once, even though in the light novels it is proven you can give it multiple times. And they constantly stress this in the anime. You quickly realize how underwhelmingly bad this is. Also, speaking of parents, where are the adults in this world?
They do not play video games, they do not matter. 0 dimensions.
I think it's even less because they never appear. I think you barely see any
just see
adults.
School and teenagers and then Accel World battles, the end.
Exactly. Oh, and I just realized, since we're finished off with Chrome Disaster, we get to my favorite part of the entire show. Episode 13.
Oh...
Clap with me. This is the magna opus of bad writing.
It's art, damn it. It's art.
Yes.
Chiyo becomes also a burst linker. Kuruyuki Hime lives to have her unavoidable bitch episode.
Just right in time for the new villain to get introduced.
Was introduced in that same episode.
Nomi, a villain almost as good as that gay butterfly from SAO.
I think he's the kind of villain like Joffrey from Game of Thrones.
Yes.
The one you just want to see slapped and punched and just see him suffer.
Yep.
On episode 14, we again see how bullshit is the security system in this world. Nomi just happens to film Haru going inside the showers, which brainwashed him to think it was actually the man's showers, and there was no security camera around to prove that.
For some magical reason, this kid can somehow input viruses through photos that he somehow sends to other people without infecting them.
And of course there's no security against that, so anyone can cheat in this school. And then blackmails him, you're gonna work for me or I'm gonna show this footage to your school and stuff like that. But nobody's gonna ask, oh really, and what were you doing there recording him at that moment?
I was doing some stuff.
Yeah, and I just happened to look at that direction and I imagined, oh, this is gonna be interesting to record. Some guy just walks, let's just record him. And Nomi is pretty much revealing all his satanic plans in front of Haru, just like the gay butterfly in SAO. And Haru is not just recording all this, just to have something to use as an alibi or something.
Yeah, like, why
Why can't you record with this Neurolinker shit? I mean, it would have solved so many
do it
problems.
again? You've shown multiple times you can do it.
Episode 15.
You get introduced to Dusk Taker, who basically has the most broken ability in the entire game, yet for some reason they try to make it seem like it's restricted. The most broken ability in the entire game. Stealing other people's abilities. No one thought that this was broken in the slightest.
Totally not. And pretty much he loses the duel with him, so he needs to train and get more power-ups. Notice, not become stronger, get another power-up. That's pretty much the only excuse this game has. So again, levels mean absolutely nothing. Ash Roller, that biker cool guy from the first episode, now he's his ally. When did this guy become his friend?
They're not giving that explanation. They just make him a cool, awesome biker guy who you just want to be friends with.
Episode 16, they introduce us to this other new power-up called the Incarnate System, which is technically, if you want it really bad, it's going to happen. It's like, there's no balance. If you just snap your fingers, it's gonna happen. Episode 17, they try to fight again, Dusk Taker, and again they fail, because that bitch appears and heals him. It's like, I betrayed you both, now I'm working for the villain, yeah. Here's the worst part. It ends in an amazing cliffhanger. It's like, oh, we got betrayed, the villain is healed again, we're gonna lose. And then we switch to fucking filler episodes.
The only reason for these episodes to exist was just to expand the runtime because we couldn't think of anything else important to do. The filler episodes are quite possibly more entertaining than the actual series. That is really sad.
And let's not forget all the characters they made up from shit and never used them again.
I did enjoy just how laughably bad this arc was. There was a level 4 who mastered a dragon and just almost destroyed them. How does that work?
Levels mean nothing.
How does a level 9 not destroy a monster? These things should be basically play toys for them.
Until, of course, the map changes.
Oh my god, the biggest Deus Ex Machina I have ever seen. Apparently, Kyuki Hime's secretary, she's apparently a burst linker, and I'm not sure how, but she gets brain burst out of nowhere. Somehow gets it again to change the map. This is the moment where I just started laughing. I could not take it seriously anymore.
I think that there needs a new term for this. Nostalgia power. Because she came back into the Accel world with her memories.
It makes about as much sense as anything the show has been throwing at me.
And after this completely useless and badly written filler episode, with added bitch scenes just for the heck of it, we return to the normal plot.
I'm sorry, but really, normal plot. I think by this point they've abandoned all pretenses of a plot. It's now more like, this sounds good, let's throw it at them. Let's throw in just random plot devices that make absolutely no amount of sense.
As long as it is about video games, they will like it. And speaking of that, turns out that Unico already knew about this incarnation system and she could use it, but she didn't do it all this time in the show when she could just will whatever thing she wanted to happen.
They gave a reason for that. It's because this incarnate system makes you evil.
No, they never said that. They just said that it's run by emotion. So even that
By the worst emotions.
still does not make sense.
Especially since willpower is supposed to be connected to anything.
Yeah. Episode 21 and 22 are probably the most fun I've had with the entire series. Only because they actually just have this, finally a girl who, even though should be in his harem, isn't in his harem, and actually kind of saves him again. And it was awesome. Unfortunately, we got back to the real plot, which was immensely disappointing. Did anyone else notice that incredibly broken ability she has? She can just drain your HP down to just death if she bites you. So this was not looked at the game at all, was it? It's so
Not to mention that the pain it causes is supposed to affect the guy in the real world.
Yeah, I get that it's supposed to affect your body, but it's just brain. It doesn't actually mean you get hurt. Why didn't we watch her this entire time? Just see her completely demolish guys with that bite. She barely talks. That makes her about as much more likable character than everyone else combined.
Because it would make things too easy.
It would have been perfect though. She would have just completely demolished everyone with that bite. It's so ridiculously broken. And it was hilarious because it's like, wow, Haru, you're terrible. You are a terrible, terrible gamer.
We also get this new arena concept thingy, which they of course could have introduced a while earlier, but fuck that.
Now we're moving to the finale, 23 and 24, where they fight Nomi what, the 5th time?
And this is where we get to introduce to the best character design CG character of all time, Black Vice, who is, again, the most interesting character in the entire show, and is only introduced for like 30 minutes.
Over here it is revealed that Nomi became evil because he was bullied, and at this point, doesn't anyone even care about this guy? I mean, he's just to be hated. Why are they trying to make him sympathetic? And you would think that they eventually won because thanks to all their new power-ups and willpower, they managed to find the proper means to defeat him, but no, that slut just triple crosses them, defeats the villain by her hack's power, and it's the end of the arc. I mean, what kind of an anticlimactic end is that? And she couldn't just tell him the truth right away. It's like, oh, you know, it's all a part of my plan, but no, I'm not gonna tell you that. I'm just gonna let you hate me and think I'm betrayed you, slut.
Nope, that would be against everything this book was standing for, which was plot contrivances. Proceed with the plot contrivances even more.
This is the part we also introduced to an evil organization of Accel World players.
What happened?
You're not supposed to question the system.
Exactly.
Second season.
Well, they are gonna have a second season. Sunrise needs them milking machine. This is the closest thing they've got.
So, the battle is ending, Nomi finally lost, and everybody loves this thing where Haru is not actually sparing him, but I'm gonna fucking kill you.
Granted,
One of the
was...
most satisfying moments in the whole show. But you know, technically he didn't kill him. He gets out of the game, he gets amnesia, he's a completely different person, and nobody's gonna question that. This is how this game hides the truth from the rest of them. That's bullshit.
He basically forgets the basic forms of learning, since whenever he got this game was at a relatively young age. So therefore, you basically made a man retarded. How did you do something so unintentionally evil?
And you know, they try to make it seem like he has a second chance in life, he's now gonna be pure and all that crap. But he's a baby! It's like they destroyed 10 years of his life or something.
That's exactly what they did. And they're passing it off as they're like, oh, he's cute.
Yeah.
Totally brainless.
Skyraker becomes friends again with Kuro Yukihime. It's like, we never saw you together! We don't fucking care about you becoming friends again!
We never cared about Skyraker in the first place. She's just a random plot contrivance that appeared out of nowhere, and we're supposed to give a crap about it. It's like trying to be attached to paper. It's not gonna happen.
Especially when it's the future and nobody actually needs paper.
Exactly. It brings me to the best part of the show.
The final speech?
No, this was completely and utterly pointless. Because their original objective, which was to basically defeat all of the kings, they just forgot about it. Let's put this on hiatus till next season.
Since Haru could destroy the armor at level 6, and it took all the kings to defeat the armor, we can only imagine that if it gets to level 7, he can just defeat all the kings or something.
Oh yeah, it's gonna happen.
Any final thoughts?
It's bad. There's nothing holding it together. It's just like random plot contrivance because we need this to add it to the plot and somehow make it connect. Doesn't work. So they try adding more plot contrivances to try and make this world somehow make sense. Which is like trying to say, how can we make this world that already doesn't make sense even more nonsensical?
It is pieces, like pieced together to Frankenstein.
Yeah, this is the mix mash of ideas, none of them particularly working together. I didn't despise the show, I just didn't like it. It's really just too one note. Every fault we have of the show is just based on the fact that the author cannot write. Like Gen Urobuchi.
A bit interesting to see how it was based on anti-heroes, technically. All of them were selfish, and they had psychological traumas, and they were trying to learn from that and become mature. And in theory, this leaves a lot of room for character development, but the way they handled it
Was terrible.
terrible.